Dr. Naum Bunia, two persons are charged for his murder. One of them is his former business partner, a lab scientist. So, why did she allegedly set up a hit on the doc? Tonight we'll have the answer. And LIU, the leftovers, men who were abruptly cut off the program, speak to 7 News. We ask them what's next for the 523 men who will no longer get that bi-weekly salary. And Anthony Moller says Belize needs the LIU program. Plus, the Belize Energy Workers for Justice take their protest to the House meeting in Belmopan. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Thursday, June 4th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Craig.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
"2026 marks a major milestone in the history of Belize's healthcare sector. The 25th anniversary of the National Health Insurance (NHI) program and the long-awaited national rollout of NHI services to the Cayo district, finally fulfilling a dream of primary healthcare coverage for all Belizeans. What started as an idea in 1998 became a reality in 2001 and has served thousands of Belizeans over the last 2.5 decades by providing access to quality health care, now in every corner of Belize.
One of the central pillars of NHI is access to quality health care.
All Belizeans will have access to quality hospital services through a national health insurance system.
It's a milestone that the whole country and all of the people of Belize, anyone who has a social security card, it's minimal out-of-pocket expenses, it's high-quality primary care. It allows almost all the population then to have the same level of health care wherever you are.
In 1998, the then Honorable Said Musa convened a group of us to work on the manifesto, and then a group of people in the medical field, and started brainstorming of how we could better healthcare for Belizeans.
The beginning can be traced to a study done by Cambridge Consultancy, where they produced a document on how to improve healthcare in Belize. One of the features of that study was the proposal that we have national health insurance.
As a matter of urgency, we will radically transform Belize's health system to ensure equitable access to quality health services.
It took a lot of courage to implement and begin the NHI. Prime Minister Musa made the bold decision to implement it.
So with a clear plan and vision for the future of Belize's healthcare sector, the NHI program was launched in Belize City's south side as a pilot project on August 9, 2001.
For the next 6 months, the 37,000 residents living on the south side of the Belize district will be able to receive free health care.
Prime Minister Said Musa, who cut the ribbon at today's opening, remains firmly committed to NHI.
It will involve, as you no doubt have heard, the participation of 4 primary care facilities, 3 eye care centers, 5 pharmacies, laboratories, and 3 imaging centers in a new partnership between the public and private sector health providers.
You can walk into a primary care provider clinic. You can seek a consultation with a general practitioner. If in the event that you need a prescription, they will give you a prescription, and then you have a choice of 5 pharmacies where you can get that medication prescribed free of charge.
And though the NHI embarked on a journey to transform the country's health sector, it was met with its fair share of challenges.
It was a new concept.
It was a new idea, a very, very new concept. It was difficult. We met resistance from everybody. It was a up and down situation for many years until we finally convinced the Prime Minister at the time we needed to do a pilot project to see how it would function. We got consultants and we started the pilot project in the south side of Belize City.
Despite any prior reservations, in the 25 years that have followed, NHI has grown from a pilot project focusing on the south side of Belize City to a national health plan felt as far and wide as Pachacan in the north and as deep south as Dolores in the Toledo district. Today, NHI provides invaluable primary health care to some of Belize's most vulnerable members of society. And as it commemorates 25 years of service and a full national expansion, NHI is ready to move into the next phase of service to the Belizean people, with over 225,000 residents currently registered to the program and expectations for that number to reach over 300,000 after full national coverage.
We have 80,000 people with valid Social Security cards in the Cayo district. So we expect them to be the ones that will come to register for NHI.
Under this current administration, the NHI program has reached new heights, especially with financing from the proceeds of the sale of Bolido through the Belize Government Lotteries Limited. And with no plans to slow down anytime soon, the sky is the limit for NHI as it endeavors to serve Belize for another 25 years and beyond.
The expansion at 25 years is awesome. It marks a milestone. I believe it's going to be a legacy of the PEP government in their effort and their endeavor to give quality care, access to care, and ensure that the people of Belize have what they deserve in terms of medical care.
Well, it's a milestone that the NHI is celebrating 25 years this year, 2026. I mean, now that we have achieved this so far, I would want, or my vision would be that the same applies to secondary health care, that it be extended into the hospital services countrywide. And I hope it doesn't take another 25 years for that to happen.
The role of the Social Security system will be expanded to increase its contributions with the establishment of a national health insurance program.
I think NHI is forever. It's not gonna go. It might change. It should change. Our communities change, so the way we serve them has to change. But the concept of NHI, the concept of having universal coverage of primary health care for our Belizean people is here to stay.
NHI, an enabler of quality health and wellness for all.
It's not just cigarettes. Vapes, hookahs, cigars, and other tobacco products all release harmful smoke and toxic chemicals. When you smoke or vape, that cloud doesn't just disappear. It becomes second-hand smoke and third-hand smoke that others breathe in. This smoke can cause cancers, diabetes, lung disease, and heart problems. It can kill anyone exposed to it. If you smoke or vape, step outside, far from others. We all deserve to breathe clean air.
Altoona is one of the most visited Mayan city up until lately. The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. Not having the POS machine in the past, we have lost a lot of sales. Atlantic Bank helped supported our business, giving us the opportunity to get the POS machine. Now with the POS machine, we are able to do more sales, and that will, also bring more, finance to our families.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
He was killed 6 days ago, and tonight police have charged 2 persons for the murder of Dr. Naum Bonilla. Shockingly, one of them is a medical professional and the doctor's former business partner. This evening, police formally arrested and charged 26-year-old Hannah Foreman, a laboratory scientist, and 37-year-old Edwin Bertrand Jr., an electrician, jointly with the crime of murder. Foreman allegedly arranged the hit and hired Bertrand to carry it out. That is what investigators believe. But why would a 26-year-old woman do such a thing? Tonight we can tell you that it was likely the product of a business dispute. Foreman was Dr. Bonilla's former 50-50 business partner in Insights Medical Clinic and Belmopan Medical Laboratory Services, which the duo established under a joint agreement in November of 2023. They had a bitter ownership dispute shortly after the business successfully secured a lucrative national health insurance laboratory services tender in January 2026. In court filings, Foreman claims that following the successful bid, Dr. Bonilla orchestrated a de facto expulsion to push her out of the company. She alleges that Dr. Bonilla locked her out of the facilities, cut off her digital administrative access, and put her on administrative suspension. Dr. Bonilla had also levied severe accusations against Foreman, accusing her of diverting patient payments to personal accounts and destroying official receipts and testing logs, and of attempting to secretly register the business under her sole name using an allegedly forged signature. The court found that the dispute required a full trial, and both sides were waiting on that when the murder was allegedly orchestrated. Police picked up Foreman hours after the shooting, and investigators believe that she hired Edwin Bertrand to carry out the hit. He allegedly did so while the doctor was taking his 5-year-old to school last Friday morning, resulting in one of the most shocking murders Belmopan has ever seen, leaving a wide imprint of grief across the community. In other news, today, Minister of Tourism and Youth and Area Rep for Pickstock, Anthony Moller, said that Belize needs the LIU program. He also questioned the amount of money budgeted annually for the program, which he said was $6 million, while the Prime Minister said it was $3 million, which, according to our records, is the accurate figure. But here's how Moller puts it.
Well, I think it's good to take a pause and reevaluate any program to see the merits and demerits of it. I support an LIU program. How that looks, we'll have to sit in cabinet and reevaluate that. But we need that program. And me as Minister of Youth, I've often questioned how can you be spending $6 million on 583 men when 70% of the population is under the age of 29, right? And the youth budget is only $2.7 million or $3 million, somewhere around there. To me, we have so many bright minds across this country that we need to focus on them, but we have to create the safety net. So the safety net would be, more free education in high school and even taking that to sixth form, whereby we have more people enrolled, more people getting educated properly.
And so while Moller would like to spend the LIU money in different areas, tonight the men who worked in the program say they feel used and abandoned. The program was cut without giving them any formal notice. Most heard about it through Facebook. Today we spoke to 2 of them about the effect that abruptly cutting off a social support system will have.
To me, the despondency that it creates in young people when the only end that they were able to get immediately cut off. And they're like, wanna go from here. Yo,
put everything back against the wall, you know what I mean? You just lock off and stipend for me, like, when me to help me take care of my family. Now my back against the wall because I don't know how I want to take care of my family now. I can't go out there go get a job because they know I hire me because I come from Pink Sally. So people watch me funny. They second guess me. They think I want thief me. They think I want rob me, all kind of thing. Chances mainly they want rippling effect and they want serious rippling effect. We just pray that, lead back to crime. That they hate right there. That the way we spend since we left the youth saying left there with their mind messed up, man. Like nobody cared. Nobody care about we. You know what I mean? We the try. Uno ask we for something and we the give uno ask we for and now uno just lock we off like we don't know nobody like uno use we like uno use we.
To me, I think that more towards the end of month time, people have that end of month bill they come up, house rent they come up, so if you make it just lock it off just like that, it really everything it rough. Right? They say yes, okay, 523 man cut off for the LIU program, 523 individuals may have a card, but every 2 weeks when have $343 come in, then that 523 man have 523 different families you go feed her for the money there. So it's very essential to not just one man, that to a whole family. So imagine how much families you take bread out of them, 523 times what? Because exactly. So that's a lot of people who really lose out for this. And we don't necessarily say ball fee, push your back the money, but it's about push your back the money and also strengthening back the program into way more efficient where people can actually see the work where they get done. Because
ask Minister Henry Usher, Minister Gilroy Usher, Minister Marla, Minister Hyde, Minister Musa, the 523 people come out of our constituency and you have other ministers too. For our constituency and people come out. You know where the LIU program made do for our constituency. You know the dynamics of Belize City. We need the program back. Because the program made the work. So we need the program back if they want to restructure it better. But bring back the program because the program made the work. A lot of youths want to get wild. Man, me occupied because they don't know they have something to do every day. Everything they go up. So how many 523 people they live and survive now? That's the question too. How many people they survive now since they don't have that stipend to take care of their leave family? When they expect them to do? The minute we start escalate crime back, I think that's the trigger when they want. We the brethren from different block and we talk with one another, still negotiate between one another. Though they lock off the program, we still talk with one another and make one another know why. Hold it down. Nobody try bust no shot. Try keep the peace. Try make we talk it out if we could talk it out without we reach a level of violence because we could do it.
But the way how they cut out this program and just dash with everybody on the side, it really could have a serious effect. And we don't really want to reach that point. We want the party really stick to me. We know the group chat, our group chat with brothers, but we love to turn it up. No, bro. Make a weight limit more because then at the end we can't be fool. If we strike up, that who I feel. So it don't make no sense. So my call that for government, the LIU body, whoever it is, and the brothers in the streets. Government, please push the resources to the different organizations so they could push it by we. And brothers, please make it hold it down. Please make it just show the people that we could do it.
Everything that time into, Jules. Everything you can't rush. Everything that not overnight. You know what I mean? I'll be able to learn for walk overnight. It take your time.
When election time rolls around again, the PUP politicians will likely be going back to those same LIU families asking for support. And in the city, with things being what they are, they just might get it. But who will the PUP's mayoral candidate be? Will it be Alan Pollard or Elude Miller? Truly, it depends on which of the city area reps support them in a convention. We asked Mola who he's with.
Where does your support lie?
Well, I won't say my support publicly right now, but I mean, I think it's a healthy democracy. We have two young aspirants who have energy and who are creative. And then we'll see where that goes. But, you know, I can't say that publicly right now. I have to get the full support of my executive to see where we will go.
You don't consider that it's Alan Pollard's time. There was something that happened in the last election when he was ready to run at that time and he was asked to step aside. So it's never going to be his time.
Well, I think that's a loaded question. They told Barack Obama that it wasn't his time, and he said that it was his time and it became his time. So if you really want something, you'll go for it. They've said that to me in the past. Well, none of your time neither. Well, go somewhere else or go do this. And then you say, all right, if the next candidate or a few candidates who want to come, let's go to a convention and let's see where that ends up.
We'll take our first break now. When we come back, we'll take you to today's house sitting, plus an escalation in Hopkins. The drums were rolling as villagers held a spontaneous protest against City River developers today. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Good day, Belizeans. This year, as we observe World Environment Day 2026, we join the global community under the theme, A Global Call to Climate Action. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. We are already experiencing its impacts through stronger storms, rising temperatures, increased coastal erosion, droughts, flooding, and threats to our food security, economy, and way of life. For Belize, climate action is about protecting our people, our reefs, our forests, our water resources, and the future of our children. The good news is that each of us has a role to play by reducing waste, conserving energy and water, supporting sustainable practices, planting trees, and protecting our natural resources. We contribute to a stronger and more resilient Belize. This World Environment Day, I encourage all Belizeans, communities, schools, businesses, and families to move from awareness to action. Together, we can build a cleaner, safer, and climate-resilient nation for generations to come. Happy World Environment Day from the Department of the Environment and the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change, and Solid Waste Management. Thank you, and may God bless Belize.
Special moments deserve a special place. Book now and save 50% on accommodations and 20% on spa. Only at 9.
Belize Electricity Limited is pleased to announce the holding of its 2025 Annual General Meeting at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City, Belize, at 3 o'clock p.m. on Thursday, June 18th, 2026. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification such as a Social Security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's executive chairman or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5 o'clock p.m. on June 16, 2026. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 501-227-0954, extension 1512.
Nokche Adventure Park came about from the birth of COVID. Everything was on pause for tourism. So we decided, let's do something different. We got 10 bikes, 10 ATVs, and we were just doing ATV tours. Shortly after, we were approached by the cruise lines. We agreed to work with them, and from then it just started growing. We set up the chocolate tour first, and then from there we went into the culinary experience at the different Mayan cultures. We have the gift shop, the cooking class, the shaman, and the healing, and it just all came together. When you reach a certain point, you need investors, you need partners to come into your business. Atlantic Bank just make it easy. Even my 7-year-old could do it.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The Belize Energy Workers for Justice have not given up their fight for the severance pay and pension. Today they protested in front of the National Assembly, bearing the Belmopan heat, all for a chance to speak with the Prime Minister. The Minister of Labour visited them and promised to take their issue to Cabinet. But the BEWJ says BEL is planning to go back to court.
We need our severance. Pay us now. We need our severance. Pay us now. We need our severance. Pay us now.
We have tried other means. We have protested before. We went to BEL headquarters. We had press conferences. We beside the press conference, we have spoken to the minister. He said that he supports us and he will take our matter to the cabinet. He will take the matter to the Attorney General to look over the records as BEL is preparing to go to the court again on a matter that has been ruled. We don't understand that. But so we find it crucial to come here today that the House is meeting to see if we could talk to the Prime Minister, who is ultimately the head of the whole country, and he has the biggest decision he could make, and help us, the elderly workers who have already given our time and our efforts to the country. BL said that they will go to the High Court to seek what they call declaratory relief, to see if the court will tell them that they are on the right track, or whether otherwise, whether they should pay us, which we don't understand, because I don't know how you can't understand what is a court ruling. They are trying to say what has applied to BTL does not apply to us. And that is not the case, because our severance is not wrapped up in our pension, and that is what they are trying to say. Also, what is so hurtful to us, that Mr. Lin Young, who sits as chairman of the board now, and also acting CEO, because they have not gotten a CEO so far, have already collected his money. When they left the company in 2011, they abandoned the country. They jumped ship from BEL and went with BCOL. And now the government put back this man in there again. First of all, to sell BCOL back to the country, which should have come to us for $1. We want to stress that court doesn't take overnight. We have members who have died already. We have members in the hospital. And some of us are just limping along, like myself. I am here speaking, but I have health issues. As I have said to some reporters already, I have kidney issue. I am standing here with one kidney, but I'm fighting.
And while that was happening outside, inside, the House of Representatives approved a $23.5 million loan through the International Development Association. The loan is for the Belize Early Childhood Development and Female Empowerment Project, which is to improve access to quality early childhood care as well as employment opportunities for women. While the opposition supported this and other loan motions brought to the House today, they did so based on certain conditions. The leader of the opposition explained more.
The opposition has a few requests, and we believe they're quite reasonable. We request a geographic breakdown of the targeted project areas, which districts, which communities, which specific institutions will benefit. We request, Mr. Speaker, a projected disbursement schedule and a model cost of the commitment charge under both optimistic and conservative drawdown scenarios. We request a detailed multi-ministry coordination framework showing how the CEU, Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Human Development will execute this project without delays that have plagued similar structures. And we request a reporting obligation to Parliament, not just to the IDA, for the impact evaluation with defined matrix, timelines, and consequence mechanisms. Important, Mr. Speaker, the opposition supports this loan motion, and we ask that the additional information that is required be brought to this honorable House so that this government can be true to its commitment to establishing the gold standard in transparency and accountability.
And shortly after the Prime Minister stood up to end the debate, Panton began leaving the room to take a phone call, which triggered a back and forth between the two leaders.
It started well. But then after that, then she started moving away from all of the goodwill that she was getting, not only here, but even with the public, and then started to become very negative in trying to kind of confuse the Belizean people. You should sit here and learn something, young lady. If you will stay here, you'd have learned something, man. You know? Okay, you'd have learned something if you leave, you know, but maybe you could tell her, right? Okay, all right. So let me talk about thin skin. Anyway, just to correct the records, because obviously the leader of the opposition have selective learning. The problem with you are that the TNC went twice to try to pitch the Blue Bond. And you know what? One, they either never understand what they're representing to them, or B, they realize, hey, we can't hustle on this bit, so we're not interested. But they did not get it done. The debt that they are making such a big deal, which is that how we are with the borrow and the borrow, with the borrow but with the PA. We don't have PA like them.
And the House also approved a $3 million loan motion from CARICOM for a school development fund for Corozal and Cayo. This will see the construction of safe, inclusive, and climate-resilient schools, along with essential learning materials, teacher training, and more. Again, it was supported by the opposition, but Panton raised the point of whether some of the funding couldn't go to St. Mary's School in Belize City, which was deemed unsafe for use back in 2022. Here's how that exchange went with the area rep for Fort George.
I wondered, Mr. Speaker, if some consideration could not have been given to St. Mary's School in Belize City. It's been your constituency, member for Fort George. I passed there every single day for the last 4 years. And there has been no movement in terms of ensuring that that institution be brought back to some level of functionality so that we can have more children in the Belize City area and Belize District access to St. Mary's School. As I said before, the opposition supports this motion, and that we ask that since the Belize Social Investment Fund will be the executing agency, that as is the standard, there will be open tendering, proper procurement, independent monitoring, and regular reporting back to the public.
The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing has met with officials from St. Mary's, from the Anglican management. It is a school that is managed by the Anglican Diocese, and estimates have been prepared. What needs to be done is known. We have to see where the funding will come from. We're working to see where that funding will come from. But we are going to make sure that St. Mary's comes back the way it needs to come back.
The temperature on the boundary dispute between Hopkins and City River increased by a few notches today when Hopkins villagers launched a protest in City River with drums and all. It's a deepening dispute with roots that run way deeper than the mangroves that once lined the coast. Jaleesa Roberts took a deeper look.
This is what the government was hoping to achieve when they decided to host boundary dispute consultations in Stan Creek over the weekend.
So under the Village Council Act, particularly Section 3 of the Act, the minister responsible for village and village council has the authority to declare boundaries for villages. And that provision also allows the minister to set up appoint an independent commission to review, mediate, and make recommendations to him on adjoining villages that have boundary disputes. The commission work is to gather data, seek stakeholder input, and then to take all that information, to assess it, to analyze it, and use it to make very sound and rational recommendation to the minister about where the boundaries should lie between adjoining villages.
This is necessary because City River and Hopkins are still undecided as to where the boundary of separation is, and GOB assembled a commission to resolve the issue.
When the commission began its work in October, the commission met with all the village councils, explained the protocol, explained the terms of reference, explained the standing orders, explained what it is intending to do, allowed each of these respective councils to make their substantive claims. Those substantive claims were disclosed to the respective parties. Each party was given a chance to make counter submission. They have all done that. And now we are using the public consultation to give the general public, even though it has been the responsibility of the respective village councils to engage its people, the commission did not take it for granted that they would. So the commission went out and made sure it got its information.
In those consultations, various opinions made their way to the forefront from both sides, some constructive and some considered as offensive.
Listen, just follow the times when there's a flare-up in this contention. Just follow the times when there's a claim for those spaces. Again, like somebody else had said, it is all economic. And I will venture to say that when these immigrants came and settled in those spaces, that is when this contention took place. Because when Hopkins and City River were staying side by side without immigrants, we had no contention whatsoever. As a matter of fact, if you're moving to City River, what you do is go on that side, right? Because we respected those natural boundaries. But all of a sudden now, the immigrants, they came and started settling those spaces. Now we have contention.
Our people had never had any issues with people from City River. They stay on their side of the fence and we stay on our side of the fence. And because of economical reasons and whatever it is, now we have an issue with boundaries. Are we going to go through that same thing? Are we going to stand by and listen to all this, and at the end of the day we're going to lose everything like we lose in Danriga? No, man, that thing have to stop. That thing have to stop, man. I don't have to convince nobody to tell no Mr. Minister that Hopkins that we.
We received a lot of opinion last night. We received a great deal of emotion, but absolutely no facts as to what the history of this is. So we, as a community, can make a fact-based opinion or idea on what it's supposed to be. So we have nothing to contribute to who should get what. That's not our place. Are the people in the disputed area required to vote in City River historically, or have they been required to vote in Hopkins? Because that says a great deal about what boundaries are, because you vote in the community you live in, right? What are the historical maps? What do they show? The Garifuna claimed that they landed on this beach and that all of the land in that area is theirs. I can't dispute that. I wasn't here 200 years ago. If I remember from the historical photos that I have seen of the development of City Point, Falls City Point, and City Point, wasn't 99% of that all mangrove? So there was no land for them to have claimed when they landed. It was all mangrove. The land wasn't put in place to be claimed by anybody until it was developed. So how can you go back and say historically this was ours when there was nothing there for it to be anybody's at that point?
And after that, Hopkins Village Council has since sent out a release saying that it is currently collecting affidavits and supporting documentation for Hopkins boundary. But today, things escalated to another level when Hopkins villagers, who feel offended by some of the remarks at the consultation, decided to do an early morning protest and circle one of the homes of the immigrants living in the area via the river. Taifa Radio was live.
Spread love is a Garifuna away.
It is an ominous escalation in a dispute fueled by different conceptions of community ownership. And also in the background is the Trade License Act of 2024, which, once activated, will allow trade and liquor license revenues to stream into village councils. So what we see on the surface as a cultural divide may also be an economic divide. Talisa Roberts, 7 News.
And with locals and newcomers may have differences about community boundaries, both sides in those coastal communities must deal with sargassum fouling up their beaches. Record amounts of sargassum seaweed are slowly moving west and north across the Atlantic Ocean, piling up on the shores of the Caribbean and the United States. Today we asked Tourism Minister Anthony Mola about the sargassum crisis. He feels the region isn't taking it as seriously.
Do you feel hopeless in the face of that problem?
Some days, because I don't think we're looking at this heavily as a region, and I push it personally in both meetings for Central America and the Caribbean. But I don't think we have worked on this collectively and with science behind it to see how we can deal with it. The scientists say that it's coming out of the Amazon and then out of the Sargasso Sea and a whole pile of things. So we just have to try it. If you can see Playa del Carmen, we got lucky over the last month or so. And most of it went up to Mexico, and they are taking a beating right now, and they have much bigger budgets, and they have the Coast Guard working and all kind of thing to try to, and it still just keeps coming because you can't work 24/7 in that environment. So by the time you wake up in the morning, a boatload or a beach load of sargassum has washed up on the beaches.
But the sargassum blight has been around long enough and is sufficiently widespread that experts say it is no longer a determining factor for travelers, but airlifts is an issue. And since the start of the year, Belize has lost the service of 2 budget carriers. Spirit Air folded in March and JetBlue cancelled its JFK flight to Belize in May. But now the BTB is in talks with Bermuda Air to fly out of Boston, Raleigh, Fort Lauderdale, St. Petersburg and Orlando, Stanford International Airport into Belize. Mola said that while they may be losing some, they're still adding others.
I don't really want to say much about that one. We have been in talks with Bermuda Air for some time now. Actually, the original discussion was about to flag the plane Belize Air, whatever we want it to be named, right? And we've been talking about multiple destinations from the United States, Guatemala, and maybe one more. But I think they announced earlier than we had anticipated. We wanted some more time to look at their proposal and what they're asking. But they're very, very much interested in working with Belize. Belize fits they're a premium carrier, and Belize fits their model. And so I'm excited to see where it ends up. But we have quite a ways to go in terms of really, really finalizing that arrangement.
Are you concerned that some airlines are sort of tightening their budget, having less flights? And then we saw what happened with Spirit Airlines. We know what happened with JetBlue. I think American Airlines are doing less domestic flights. That might eventually translate to less planes coming to Belize.
Well, I mean, these are trying times for the entire industry. I expect to see more Spirit Airs. What happened to them occur throughout. I've seen some already in the Caribbean, But we continue to do our work. So you lose some and you gain some. So I believe another airline will increase its capacity to Belize. We're talking to current airlines that we have to expand out of new cities. I can't say these things publicly before it's announced, but we have at least 4 or 5 new routes that we're talking about, separate from the Bermuda air routes that we're discussing.
So, are there any decreases in tourist arrivals as a result of?
No. Year to date, we're, I would say, a few thousand up compared to 2025.
Regarding the Sacachiapa Stadium in San Pedro, where a domed facility was promised but has not appeared, Mala says it's a slow process, but work will begin. But what are they going to do about the artisans? Here's what he said.
Yeah, we're going to start the ground. We want to put a dome over it, but again, we have to pick, right? So we have to be patient and we have to get things done step by step. So one full basket, as they say.
I understand that the artisans who are out there, they still have not moved into the market. How do you plan to navigate that situation?
Well, I'm hoping that the town council can create some incentives for them to go. It's a nice facility. We're just not used to, in a lot of instances, change and being organized and being disciplined.
They also feel that they'll get less notice if you're at Zacatecas, that's where most people pass.
But a lot of people pass there, right? And a lot of people come off the boats from Mexico as well.
Mala doubles as the Minister of Sports and explained that there are exciting things coming for the stadiums across the country. Renovations will start with Marion Jones, which he says will be improved to include better facilities, a rock climbing gym and tennis court. But he lamented that the ministry receives only a small budget, so progress is slow.
Marion Jones is going to be called what we're deeming a high performance center. So we want to have 4 across the country, 1 in the north, 1 in the west, and 1 in the south. But we're going to start focusing on Marion Jones. In terms of Marion Jones, the works that are ongoing, if you go there, a lot of land clearing, trying to get the place ready for some of the heavy works that we want to do and some of the upgrades. The Mexico Center is almost complete. The courts are on their way to Belize. The new courts that we're going to put down there, we have ordered the rims. And so a lot of work is going out there. Actually, we're doing a master plan for the entire compound, whereby we're looking to have a Olympic-sized swimming pool, rock climbing, 2 tennis courts, a bunch of stuff so that you have public spaces and competition spaces. The problem with our facilities is that everybody accesses them all day, and they break up the facilities when we're trying to maintain them. So we have works at Marion Jones. We have work going on at Rogers Stadium. We have works going on at MCC, People's Stadium, a couple others. As you know, we have a small budget, so we have to pick projects at a time, right? We don't have this big exhaustive budget, and a field is expensive, we are trying to do it in a very cost-effective way, and so that's why we've partnered with the Football Federation of Belize, because it helps them with their mandate as well for FIFA.
How do you ensure the preservation of the new facilities?
Well, fence and security. So we're working on a camera system for all the facilities, and we're going to have a camera room where we could look at all the facilities. We're going to have public spaces that you can use and do exercise or recreate or do whatever you want, relax. And then we're going to have competition spaces that are going to be more stringent to get in.
And they have to balance their limited resources between renovating the facilities and providing support for the athletes. Mala explained that he instructed different associations and federations to provide a structured 3-year budget, but most haven't, which makes providing that assistance more difficult.
the situation is from Minister Daly and I took over, we said to every federation, every association, we want a 3-year plan for competitions internationally, for what you're going to do development-wise. You can't go and tell me 2 weeks before one competition that you want $150,000 to carry X amount of people. So we want to know, all right, if you're going to compete in a 100-meter, are you running 11 seconds like the last person did? Then why are you going? Because you know man, they run under 10, right? So that wastes money. It's wasting money, right? So we want to develop from the child moving up into our elite athletes. So this summer, the National Sports Council is going to launch what is called the Super Nationals, right? So for people who don't understand the competitions in Belize, you have primary school competition, you have high school competition. So you have district, then you have nationals. And the nationals and the district competitions are just focused on schools. The super nationals will be comprised of the best players from every district. And so we want a scouting program to start with this to showcase our best basketball players, our best football players, our best track athletes, and best volleyball players. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 disciplines in this first instance, and then we will go from there. But we strongly believe in development, and that's where we want to put our focus. But it has to be a planned effort because we don't have a lot of resources.
We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll tell you what the BDF is doing to make its soldiers more data literate. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Your security is our business, so we gonna protect you like a champion, like a champion.
Guess what, Mr. Handsome? Yeah, over there, Champion Security. This is the place to be. What does sign say? Champion Security. Here at Champion Security, we provide quality service. You know why? Such as triology lock, fire alarm, IP camera system, gate operator, biometric lock, and alarm system. Champion Security. Make a go check out what they go on inside of Champion Security. And boy, nice to meet you, my brother. Tell me a little bit more about Champion Security.
Well, welcome, Mr. Hanson. Here at Champion Security, we offer fire system, alarm system, camera system, gate operator, access control, and also trilogy locks and magnetic locks. Everything you need to do with security systems for residential and businesses, you could find everything here at Champion Security. We also consist of 12 technicians, and we offer technical support 24 hours. So anything you need for your security systems, you could find everything here at Champion Security.
Remember guys, here at Champion Security, we live by our motto, where your safety is our business. Give us a call now. Don't forget to check us on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And continue to shake it to the max all the way. Champion Security, the best place to be. We care for your safety.
You wanna rent it? That's not a problem. We got remote gate.
The success of my business means a lot to my family, especially my brother, because I'm continuing his legacy, making butterfly art collages. It was very hard for me to receive payments. I had to go directly to meet the person I'm purchasing from and who I'm selling to receive payment. Because I opened my business account with Atlantic Bank, now I can make and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Although the Ministry of Health and Wellness has stated that measles is not a major threat, the Northern Regional Hospital has reinstated mandatory mask wearing for all staff members as a precautionary measure in response to the current measles situation and concerns over other airborne illnesses. According to an internal memorandum dated May 27th of 2026, Regional Hospital Administrator Tricia Fuller Mortis informed staff that the directive took effect immediately and applies to all personnel within the hospital premises. The memo stated that the measure is intended to enhance the safety and protection of patients, staff, and visitors from measles and other airborne diseases. Staff members who fail to adhere to the directive may face corrective action in accordance with hospital policy, the memorandum noted. The PSC was phased out 4 years ago, but now the Ministry of Education has introduced the pilot phase of Belize's new National Student Assessment System. Yesterday and today, students in Standard 1, 4, and 6 participated in language arts and mathematics assessments as part of the two-day pilot exercise. This will be a testing ground ahead of the NSAS's planned nationwide rollout in primary schools in 2027 and secondary schools in 2028. But we stress, unlike previous national examinations, the NSAS is not a high-stakes assessment. Student grades, promotion, and rankings will not be affected. Instead, the system is designed to provide schools and the ministry with valuable data to identify strengths, address learning gaps, and improve educational outcomes. With a view to improve and build awareness towards digital transformation, the University of Belize has partnered with the BDF to facilitate a digital literacy program teaching soldiers and other participants how to navigate an online learning management system. Jo Marie Lanza stopped by the session at Price Barracks this morning and has this report.
Today's data literacy training is described as a prelude to a forged partnership between the BDF and the University of Belize, building awareness towards digital transformation. Training Directorate for the BDF, Lieutenant Colonel Jermaine Burns, explained the purpose of today's session.
And the training is specifically important to our soldiers because we have only just launched our in-house learning management system on Moodle that the government has invested in. And we are very much interested in our soldiers understanding how to use the system and capitalizing on the system for training and also for receiving policy documents and knowledge about the BDF on a whole in the aspect of training. And so as a training directorate, it's very important that we project this sort of platform for the future as well as we're building towards digital transformation in our organization.
And among the 70 soldiers in attendance, we also saw some customs, immigration, and Coast Guard officers who saw this training as an opportunity to learn how to navigate the BDF's learning management system on their personal devices. And that's what UB hopes to accomplish today in teaching these individuals, and that they will be able to teach others as well how to use the system.
So as part of having the various platforms, the applications for services that can be accessed to the government of Belize, this is supporting the citizens so that citizens can be a little bit more comfortable in their ability to be able to access whatever it might be, your police records or your social security application forms or your passports, right? Or your vital statistics. So as these different services are rolled out, we expect that our people should remain competent and be a little bit more comfortable in their ability to adapt to those various services. So in terms of some of the takeaways, we expect that because we are a little bit more sensitized or a little bit more knowledge of our ability to be able to use these services, we can always pass on that knowledge to members of our family, to people in our communities, to people at our job sites, to people who might need it, who might not have the ability to attend or might not attend for some reason or the other. Apart from the the training of the citizens, we have also trained what we call digital buddies. These are younger persons who are digital natives, so they already have some propensity towards using devices, their phones, their tablets, and things of that sort. So we provide them with some softer skills, communication skills, leadership skills, the ability to work with people with diverse abilities and things of that sort, so that they can also act as ambassadors in their various communities to be able to pass on and to help to support persons who might have challenges and accessing these portals.
Lieutenant Colonel Burns says today's session is merely one out of many that they hope to continue to engage in as they move towards the signing of an MOU between the force and UB. He explained what that MOU will entail.
We hope that beyond just understanding our learning management system, the soldiers are able to take their platforms and understand that, as opposed to only playing games on them and that sort of thing and scrolling on Facebook, these platforms can actually be used to do self-paced courses, academic courses. They can bridge the gap between their understanding of policies that we write and how they transform that into actual work on the ground. And so we're loading up our LMS just for that. And we have a contractor that is helping with it, but me myself don't know as much about it as I would want to know. And so these sessions are very important for us to capitalize on. And we're very, very happy that UB has pitched this to us today, one of many to come. And I'm sure that they'll be spreading their wings in this area for us to get more from them in respect to knowledge on digital transformation.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
And that's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great evening. Join Miriam Abdul Kawi here tomorrow, and I'll be seeing you back on Monday. So until then, have a great one.